No, yeah, it looks like a chip covered in milk for some reason. Or, oh, like, that literally looks like a wave of milk.
A
And for some
wave
reason
of
there's,
milk.
like, why does it... That's not even sour cream.
I can always start off the
Sour...
post-show just kind of...
Yeah, that's what I've actually done.
Cheddar...
Oh, have you already started recording?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Hi, everybody.
Hi!
How
Fucking
I think it looks like cum on the front of this jar, this can of...
Oh, dear.
I don't have that kind of mind. Fucking, today
it's a post-show. It's a post-show. I can talk about cum.
Today we're talking about fucking the movie that makes
Hi,
no
everybody.
sense.
Happy Easter. I like this.
This movie's stupid.
Yes, Wikipedia. The article has multiple issues.
It's fucking... congratulations, this is the children who chase lost voices, aka the children who chase stars, aka Journey to Argartha.
Look,
It's fucking
and then the children,
dumb.
and then I watched the dub, and it said the children who chase lost voices, and then over here in the corner it said from deep below.
Yeah, no, there is fucking... apparently, the specific word used, it's Hoshi wo o Kodomo, which the literal translation it says is the children who chase stars, but there's also another way to translate it, which is the children who chase like voices from beyond, and then there's like fucking a bunch of stupid...
Look, I know why it's called Journey to Argartha, because that title actually makes sense.
It makes more sense. Anyways, this is a Japanese anime film created by Makoto Shinkai, following his previous work, 5 centimeters per second.
Which I've heard.
Oh my god, I hate that fucking movie.
Well, I hated this fucking movie.
I watched that and nothing happened. And it went for like 3 hours, I swear to god.
Congratulations, instead of nothing fucking happening, he made a movie where everything happens but nothing mattered.
Oh, I guess that's... I don't know if that's better or worse.
You know, for me, it was worse. Anyways, this film is his longest animation film to date.
Oh my god.
A lively animated film with adventure, action, and romance. I mean, fucking, I guess.
Romance?
Romance.
Romance? Pardon?
Centered on a cheerful and spirited girl. Yeah, cheerful. That's what she was. On a journey to say farewell. No.
I did not get that at all.
None of that is what happened.
Is this another one of those things where you need to be, like, artsy as fuck to, like, understand it, or pretend to understand it?
No, 100%.
I feel like all of his movies are like that, because 5 centimeters per second was like that. I was like, surely you have to either be really madly stoned, or you need to be artsy as fuck.
Look, 100%. Because I tried to find, like, threads that fucking mattered. Like, this movie, like I said, the best comparison is Jupiter Rising or Jupiter Ascending, whatever the fuck that movie was called, where like there was a story, but the majority of it didn't fucking matter. Also, it's very apt because in both films the main lead female just has shit happen to her. Like, nothing's really ever her choice.
I guess, but
Fucking...
can we talk about the animation though? The animation's nice. It was clean. It was nice. It was very Ghibli-esque. It was really one of those movies that wanted to be a Ghibli.
It's all it has going for that guy is that his art is incredible, but he's just not a storyteller. He just can't pull off a good.
I thought this movie was a solid movie.
How? In what way? Name a plot thread that went anywhere that was of any relevance, that had any importance.
It was a movie that had a decent, canonical, made sense story.
What?
Well, there was some things that were like, what?
What do you mean made sense?
Like, the main character did not actually need to exist, really.
So the canonical main story was pointless.
I felt like she was more like the Link character, like that was just there so the viewer could be like, I can associate with that person.
Let's go over this again.
Yeah, let's do the plot.
Let's go. No, a lively animated film with adventure, action, and romance centered on a cheerful and spirited girl. Was it that? No. She's supposed to be the center.
Loosely, I guess maybe could be interpreted that way.
Let me also go over. Let me just ask some questions about this plot that you enjoyed so much. What fucking was it about?
It was about a girl who goes to another world that's really not another world, but
it's not.
Supposed to be. It's supposed to be the 80s, the underworld, the afterlife, and it's supposed to be in the earth, but it actually has a sky and clouds.
It's more like Journey to the Center of the Earth, where it's like another.
But they don't touch on that at all. They don't. Once again, I watched the dub as well, so.
No, they don't touch on shit. They don't touch on shit. You know what else they don't touch on? I'm sorry. Spoiler alert. Fucking this country was invaded hundreds of times over hundreds of years, and apparently it wasn't until after, like, Hitler invaded that they went, fuck, man, maybe we should seal the gate.
Yeah, look,
let's
run through the plot and then we can complain about
fucking it, okay? What? Look, before we go through this, before you even start, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 paragraphs of plot. 11 fucking paragraphs of plot. This movie is 2 hours long, and the first 30 minutes, the stuff that happens in the first 30 minutes is the plot of a movie. I'm talking, like, I want to give a brief rundown of the first 30 minutes. It introduces our girl. She has a radio. She has a crystal that was given to her by her dead father. She meets a boy.
Which is mentioned so briefly that it seems like it's irrelevant, but apparently this girl's recovering from loss. I didn't want to complain about it.
No, she's not, because she didn't fucking care. Anyways, she meets a boy. For some fucking reason, she falls in love with that boy. Then the boy dies. And then...
There was also a random monster that attacked her.
Which, again, fucking... You would think that there would be questions that you would have.
It was a bear, everybody. It was a bear. And not to mention that there was these agents that I thought the agents were going to do more. I mean, yes, you see them, but it's not like way... So yeah, she meets a boy, a mysterious teenage boy he saved her from this creature, and his name is Shun. And they take her to his room. She has the radio. She puts this crystal that her dad gave it in it, and then she can hear something, but it doesn't at least in the dub, it didn't let you hear what she was hearing.
No, you don't hear shit. You just hear weird crystal noise.
So then
weird crystal noise go bing bong.
Fucking. No, the thing is that she heard a song one day, and then she's like, oh, I want to hear that song again. And, like, the dude is just like, oh, you picked up on my song. That was my song. And then the fucking, like, she goes to see him the next day, and she, like, fixes up his arm, because it was cut from the bear thing. Which, she didn't question the bear thing that attacked him, and then the crystal lit up and created a fucking electrical force field that blew its jaw off?
Apparently not.
And you would think, total. Like, I was like, oh, okay, spicy.
Like, I'm sorry. This is what pissed me off, is because the dude is like, hey, don't you have any questions? And she's like, yeah, but, whatever. And I'm like, what the fuck do you mean, whatever? Like, what was that thing? What is that crystal? What, is magic real? Did you just gonna fucking accept magic as a thing now? Like, no, whatever.
She's a weird
that didn't look like a bear, whatever. And what about the investigators that fucking show up and then they're no point? But the investigators...
That eventually come into play later, but then their threat dissipates very quickly.
Well, no, those were, the investigators were like the town cops.
No, they were part of the Guardian. Because they did somebody come up from below, is what the one said in the dub.
Yeah, but literally, the train dude called them officers, and they were cops, from the town, and
Like,
and then
yes.
they fucking like this fucking secret world that only this one group like believes exists, but goddamn, fucking everybody throughout history has invaded that country, so like. And apparently that country has like the secret to immortality, but nobody's fucking immortal, so I guess they don't really have it. Because if you're gonna invade that country and steal their secrets and riches, you would think immortality would have been number fucking 1 on the list.
Yeah, you'd think.
I'm sorry, there are so many fucking plot points and like comments that are just pointless, and they're brought up and they mean fucking nothing, and it's constant. Like, it feels like every scene in this movie is, we're done with that scene now, forget that scene fucking happened.
You're not wrong.
That monster that fucking died, forget that shit, it's not important, she never questions it.
It's a Quetzalcoatl, by the way. In the
it's Quetzalcoatl, but in the
Mesopotamian.
The Quetzalcoatl is actually a fucking ancient Aztec thing, but whatever. You know, Japan, I forgive them.
There's also this scene that said, "Oh, I have to go to school tomorrow," and then they made a big point of saying it was Saturday in the dub, and I'm like, "What?"
Well, so in Japan, they have a 6-day school week. So they go to school on Saturday, and then they have Sunday off, which I don't know fucking why. But she's like, I gotta go to school. She doesn't go to school. She stays home because she's thinking about the boy.
But no, she runs off though. But anyway, don't forget to introduce the substitute teacher, Mr. Morisaki, and he gives a lecture on the book, which grabs her attention when he mentions Argartha, the land of the dead. After school, she visits Morisaki and asks him about Argartha. Morisaki explains that long ago, when humankind was young, it was the guys of Quetzalcoatls, keepers of the dead. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong.
They're Quetzalcoatlus.
Quetzalcoatlus. Until humans matured and no longer needed them, and they went underground along with a few humans who joined them.
Yeah, they went underground. They literally journeyed to the center of the earth.
Then she finds another mysterious boy.
Because the other mysterious boy, her mom's like, "Hey, they found a boy. He died. He had your scarf." And she's like, "No!" Which...
Did we ask why he died?
He just died. He was standing on the mountain, and then he looks fine, and then he just fucking dies.
Freaking yeet!
Like, yeah, and what does he even say? But I'm trying to find it in my notes. He says something like...
He fucking, like, I came here to meet her, and it's just like, what the fuck do you mean?
And then, yeah, like, and I guess that plays back into the movie that the one dude was saying once a being's goal is complete, then they can end their stop living or whatever.
But they just fucking die! I have fulfilled my purpose in life. Now I die.
I thought it might have been the big S, but he just kind of looked like he wasn't doing well and kind of just...
No, he falls over and dies. He just dies.
Imagine if that was, like, a thing. If you just had, like, a problem, like, oh shit, I feel stress, and then you just fall over and just... you're not alive.
It's more like, oh man, all I need to do is make sure that I get a car for my mom because, I want to pay her back for what she did. And then, like, you buy the car for your mom and then you die because you've completed your purpose in life.
Yeah.
It's not like you just, like, now you don't have a purpose in life anymore. You can't get a new life purpose.
During the teacher's thing, he also mentioned that Argartha was the underworld or Hades. Whatever words for afterlife you can think of in mythology, that's what Argartha is. And then I guess there's resurrection, and there's that lore with the man who travels all the way to the Izanagi.
Izanagi goes to get Izanami, and he sees her, and she's rotted, and so he's disgusted, and he leaves, and that's how, when he gets out of the underworld, he washes his face, and he washes, like, his left eye, his right eye, and his nose, and that's what creates Amaterasu, Tsukiyomi, and Susanoo.
Bless you.
I know a lot about Japanese lore.
Which is cool, So
I have a book on it.
Anyway, he finds another mysterious boy. It looks like Shun. It's actually his brother, Shin.
And she keeps calling him Shun, and he keeps saying, I'm not Shun. And she's fucking obsessed with Shun, who she's talked to for all of 2 minutes.
Yeah, a little bit longer than that, but arguably.
5 minutes in total screen time. How's that?
Yeah, that's fair. But so then all of a sudden these archangels appear. I said guardian angels earlier. I meant archangels.
They're called archangels. They have a fucking attack helicopter, and they just start shooting at them. Which I want to note, at this point in time, that is the 34-minute mark. All this shit is a movie. That is a movie on its own. It was all in 34 minutes. This movie was like, do you like plot? Well, we're just gonna cram fucking plot in, like, we're gonna put plot in a blender just so we can get more plot in. It's like, well, doesn't that mean that you're gonna have plots that just don't go anywhere? Yeah.
So then anyway, they go further into this cave, running from these people, and apparently you learn about their clavis, which is the crystal that's
Fucking
that he came back to the surface to get Shu's crystal, his clavis. And then, because the clavises are special to their culture, and it does special things, which we saw when he cut the jaw off the beast.
It just fucking electrified the jaw off. I don't know.
Don't forget his kick that was like a razor blade.
Yeah, I don't fucking understand.
So anyway, they go deeper in, and then they find the cave. Another Quetzalcoatl. It looks like a big whale thing.
Look. This is a line from the movie where they go, "What is that thing?" And the fucking dude just goes, "A whale from 50 million years ago. Kill it."
Yeah, which honestly irritated the piss out of me. Because later on in the movie, that's, by the way, spoiler alert, one of the dudes is actually her teacher. And,
yeah, fucking...
And instead of going, wow, I'm coming down here to see this place and learn about it, no, let's just murder it.
Well, also, there was no fucking point in that scene. There was no point in the Archangels at all.
Other than to try to reinforce most humans equal bad.
Well, the only purpose was so that the teacher could have a gun, which also served no purpose.
I mean, well, yeah.
The gun does nothing.
Other than at the end, we'll get to that. We'll get to the end. And then so the archangels get in there. They kill the gatekeeper. The dude, the teacher takes her, uses her as a hostage. Apparently, she's got her own clavis, and they get through the gate.
Well, no, she was given the clavis to protect so that the kid could fight. And then
you won't find out she has her own till the very end, but clearly she had one when you.
No, you find out. You find out before the end. You find out like halfway through. You find out
that it's a clavis. It's just a special gemstone her dad left.
Well, except for the fucking weird fact that so they go through the door and the Shin whatever fucking kid is like, you guys made it, but I guess I'm going to go now. Angsty.
Well, and then you find out later that he should have killed them as soon as they went through the gate. And
well, fucking, it wouldn't have mattered. Nothing would have changed really.
But there was a pretty girl.
Yeah, well, no, that goes nowhere either. That was an irrelevant plot point. There's a lot of those.
Was it? Anyway.
It fucking went nowhere. It fucking went nowhere.
You find out that the teacher is coming here because he wants to bring his deceased wife back from the dead, because that always goes so well.
Which I'm so confused as to the timeline of this movie. When the fuck does this movie take place?
Who knows?
Because it looks like he's fighting in World War II.
Yeah, I don't know.
And she's dressed like she's from the 1800s. So, I don't fucking know when this movie takes place. The teacher tells
Asuna that she can go back, but she's like, "Yeah, I want to see this place."
Yeah, he's just like, "You can go back now," and I'm like, number one, are we just getting literally, like I said,
the guardian angels out there? What about her clavis?
Because, like I told you, that was last scene. Forget that shit now. That was last scene. We're done with that now. You can go back. Because what happened last scene no longer exists.
Look,
that's how this movie works.
I still enjoyed the movie, and I'll get to that.
This movie functions by whatever happened in that last scene. Fucking forget it. It's not important anymore.
They go in, and there's water, and he scoops up the water. This is aqua vita. You can breathe in this. Okay.
Because it's less dense. And I'm just like, that doesn't make any... It fills up your lungs. Like,
does it still work like water? You still swim in it? You still sink in it? Oh, they could have just said the magic here will let us breathe. That would have made more sense than saying, "Hey,
No.
look, it's magic water."
No, it's not even magic water. It's like we're gonna explain it with science, and it's like, oh, fucking, just say this is magic water. That's all you had to say. No, we're gonna science it. It's less dense than normal water. It'll fill up your lungs, and I'm like, none of that is good.
You do not want that to happen.
I forgot to mention the very beginning of the movie. The first thing that made me go, "Huh?" was the beginning of the movie. She wakes up with her head pillowed on a train track.
That's usually
yes.
not a good thing.
Well, okay, so I know
she
why
doesn't
she
question
does that. No, I know why she does that. It's never explained in the movie, but I know why she does that. She's trying to listen for the train, so that if she knows if she has enough time to get across the bridge, because.
Oh wait, yeah, I forgot about that. Okay, yeah.
That's why she does it.
But I mean,
Yeah.
in Stand By Me, that's not a good time.
Look, this movie is a lot of you have to fucking figure it out. Alright?
Yeah.
This movie doesn't explain shit.
They jump off a cliff underwater, and they go down deeper, and then they come up and they're in the sky and sun again.
They go down, but the water is down, and they come up, and it doesn't make sense. They go down, but they end up. Alright? It fucking doesn't make any sense. And the cat's there. She has a cat.
She passed out for no reason, and because she can breathe in that water, but she just randomly passed out and woke up on the other side.
Pressure isn't a thing in the underworld, okay?
And the cat was the cat which
Mimi.
she didn't like, that seemed to like other people. She's like, "Oh, you're only supposed to like me," and it's tiny and it's cute, and I was invested for the cat.
It's got a My Neighbor Totoro knockoff tail design, fucking straight up.
That's okay. So then they go to the village, and Shin's in trouble because he didn't receive the clavis, because she still has his brother's clavis.
Can we just talk about how fucking shitty these elders are to him? The first things they tell him is essentially, your brother was better than you, but he had some, he fucking was obsessed with the, he was obsessed with the upside, the surface world, so he fucking died for his obsession. And you're nowhere near as talented as he was, and you're dumb, and you're shitty, and we hate you. That's pretty much what they tell him.
Yeah, and pretty much. The elders were just jerks. So then he's like, and they're like, "Well, now go get the clavis back by any means necessary." And he's like,
"Kill him if you gotta."
Yeah, kill him, yeah. And so then they start traveling. As soon as it says in the thing, she's kidnapped by a race of monsters. She's not really.
Okay, well, yeah, she goes with the teacher. She just goes along with him. She has no reason. Like, he's going for the sole purpose.
I wanted to be here. I felt like I needed to come.
Yeah, she's just like, I don't know, it felt right. And it's just like...
Let's be real. If you were presented with an opportunity to go on a magical adventure, even though you had no reason to, you would go to, wouldn't you?
Let me do one tweak to this plot. All it takes is one tweak to make this a good plot. You ready for it? She has this memento from her father that she talks about is a memento from her dead father, which I got pissed off when it shows the scene where they had his funeral, and like the mom fucking has a breakdown and just drops to her knees and starts bawling, and the daughter's just like, "Why are you crying, Mom?" And I'm like, "Your dad just fucking died. Maybe be a little sad." Nah.
Kids experience motions weird. When they really are little, they don't understand.
When I was 8 years old, which she didn't look to be that fucking young.
She looks to be like 3 or 4 to me, honestly. But anime kid ages, they're an enigma.
Look, man, all I know is I fucking felt sad, and this girl felt nothing. And I've seen 4-year-olds who lost a loved one. They cried. They felt sad. And this girl just nothing. But like, all you needed was little girl who lost her dad at a young age and only has this crystal to remember him, gets told that there's an afterlife where she can go see her dad again. And so she joins the teacher on his quest to go see his lost wife so she can go and talk to her dad again. That is the only tweak you need to make this plot better. Now it has a...
You're not wrong, because she was so young. Maybe she'd be like, I don't even remember his face. I want to see
Yeah.
his face.
So yeah,
Okay,
I want to.
I will give you that.
That's the one
So-
tweak. But she gets kidnapped by these weird monster
I don't know
creatures.
about kidnapped is a strong term. More like separated from the teacher, and because they want they don't seem to care about the teacher very much. They want her.
There's a bunch of them that show up, and not once.
I'm sorry, these things are terrifying.
But not once do they ever go after the teacher. This is very important to note.
But
So
it's also a plot line that doesn't ever get addressed.
go nowhere. It goes nowhere. No one mentions it. No one talks about it at all. No one. Not even her.
Those things. It's like, hey, you get to figure this out, and it means absolutely nothing.
Yeah, it's pointless. So they go. She goes there. She finds this girl. There's a whole thing where they're trying to get away from her for the monster things.
They're like six-legged, like half demon, half insect things that can live that can move through the shadows. Sunlight and water hurt them.
Fucking Shun shows up and saves the two of them. He gets attacked.
The little mute girl thing finds. Her name is Mana.
Mana, whatever. Look, the dumbest thing happens. All right, they're in a river.
Mm-hmm.
Shin and the girl get washed down the river, and then fucking Asuna is like, I gotta save him, and I'm like, what do you mean you gotta save him? It's a rapid. What are you gonna do? She's just like, I gotta save him, so she just goes down the rapids and then almost drowns.
She also, they're all blacked out. Whatever.
So it's just like, forget about last scene. It doesn't fucking matter. We're on a new scene now.
I thought this was Aquavita. I thought they could breathe in this magical water.
Exactly. How did they drown? I don't understand it. Well, it fucking doesn't make any sense. But whatever.
Anyway,
also, why is it a rapid?
And then Murasaki finds him, and the cat's with him, and then they go to a village.
They're just like, how did he find them? Like, how did he fucking find them?
Ready to be hostile, and then the village elder's like, that's my granddaughter that they saved. I don't care if they're outsiders.
I should be allowed to thank them.
Yeah, so he pretty much can house them for the night, before the village has an outcry about it. And the elder allows him to stay, and they talk and chat and eat.
I want to talk about this, because he says, this is my granddaughter. Those creatures were whatever creatures. They attack half-breeds. And they're like, oh, there's like nobody really cared that they attack half-breeds.
One of the impure because the girl's father was a topsider.
Yeah, and it's just like that moment, the main character Asuna, the guy, and the teacher don't go. Then why did they go after you, Asuna? Which is like. Writing 101? Like, that's the first thing you should, like, Asuna never questions anything. Ever. She doesn't fucking question shit.
She doesn't go, maybe I was a half-breed. Who knows? Maybe she knew. I doubt it, but maybe, like, the way she acts is just like, oh yeah, that's cool.
But she didn't know about Argartha, and she doesn't even think she's a half-breed. And I'm like, lady, you have a crystal from this world,
Your dad also magical radio so you could listen to this lady. You find out she's listening to Argartha, but
and also they attacked you. You are a half-breed, but no one acknowledges it. No one. You would think, like, I was waiting for the teacher to just be like, Asuna. And no, and then, like, she takes a bath because because the teacher wants to know about the gate to life and death, and like. Fucking, she comes out in this dress that's...
not to do anything with it,
Yeah, but she comes out in this dress that's like an Argarthan dress, and she's like, oh, what do you think? And then everybody just does like, that doesn't suit you. And I'm like, what do you mean? She's a half...
It looked fine. There was nothing wrong with the dress.
Fucking, no, she looked fine. Even Shin was like, it doesn't suit you. And I'm just like, what suits her? What...
So anyway, the next morning, Asuna and Murasaki depart the teacher by boat. And the cat, it doesn't want to go with her.
No, and the guy's just like, oh, he's done his purpose.
He's guided you here to me, and he's done his purpose.
I'm sorry. What? This was the cat's entire purpose in existence was to take her here for no fucking reason. Literally no reason.
Can we also we forgot to mention the God boat.
Oh, there's a boat that floats in the sky that holds God.
apparently God chills up in that boat. And,
Yeah, which I mean, it
and
comes.
that's okay. No one questions that either.
No, the dude's just like yeah, she
God
just.
typically, because as
Yeah,
far as I know, Japanese culture
it
has
was.
multiple gods.
Well, the way the teacher said it was, it's Agartha's god. And I'm like, so fucking, you mean Agartha, the place that controls the gate between life and death? Would that not just be God? Like,
I think so. That's the way it's
and
like that's just God. Oh, by the way, this is all cool and stuff, but that's God.
now,
Okay, cool.
if you want to know what Asuna's reaction, what
And
Asuna's reaction to that is, she's just like, so God's on that. And I'm just like, gee, that's your fucking reaction to that? Is like, not, holy fuck, God's real? That would be my number one reaction. Like, the fuck you mean that's God? That's, what? Can we go see God? I got some questions? No, Asuna doesn't have questions. Asuna doesn't have fucking desires. She's just there because some dude told her to. Like, literally, she's just there because some dude dragged her here, and then she was like, "Fuck it, I guess I'll go." Like, that's all it is. It's just like, I guess I'll go. Like, I don't know. Seems like, man, all this shit keeps happening to me. I've almost died a bunch of times. I've been shot. She didn't care. She had a nightmare, but it wasn't about being shot at by a fucking attack helicopter or being attacked by a fucking 50-million-year-old whale. Which, I'm sorry. If I'm gonna have a nightmare, it's probably gonna be the helicopter that No, that was scenes ago, and fucking doesn't matter anymore. Alright? Because that goes nowhere.
so
It goes nowhere.
And now, mind you, this cat's been perfectly fine this whole movie.
Yeah, no, I just...
And they go on their little journey, and then the cat just dies.
Because it served its purpose, so it dies, and then it gets fed to a Quetzalcoatlus, which, fucking, okay, this ancient ass Quetzalcoatlus shows up to eat it for reasons it's never explained. It just eats it.
Well, they said when it joins the Quetzalcoatlus, then it can be part of the Quetzalcoatlus, which is part of everything.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
do they feed their own dead to the Quetzalcoatluses? Like,
well,
every time anything dies, do they just...
Well, isn't it fucking odd that they die when they have the secret to immortality? Which, again, was brought up once, and then it was gone because we're done with that now.
Secret to immortality, why are there elders?
Yeah, no, I have many questions. Also, they talked about the reason why they don't trust topsiders is because for fucking hundreds of years, they've come in, attacked them, raided their treasures, and I'm like, and it shows like all of these people, like Napoleon attacked, like Hitler attacked, and I'm just like, and then they're like, and then we decided to seal the gates, and I was just like, wait, you waited through like hundreds of invasions to go, let's seal, alright, we're done, fucking seal the gates. Like, really? You would think that after the first raid, you'd go, you know what? Let's seal this shit up. Or the second raid, the third one? The fourth. No, raid 100 is where they're like, alright, look, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me 99 times, shame on you. Fool me 100 times, shame on me. That's my bad at that point. My bad. Like, fucking... But, again, ignore that, because that was a scene that happened before the next scene, so fucking forget it. It doesn't matter anymore.
You're not wrong. Shin sees the villagers now riding their horses to go kill the topsiders, which honestly I understand why they might want to kill them.
But here's the thing, though, is that Shin's on the quest to do it from his clan's elder, and then just like these three dudes they just fucking decide to do it. Like, there's no reason. There's no reason to do it at all. But if you were gonna do it,
his Clavis was taken back at this point, and all she has is her clavis, by the way.
Yeah, she just has hers,
Which they didn't care about until now. Then all of a sudden they can hear the voice of the clavis.
Yeah, now it matters. Now it's
So anyway, the teacher and lots of sirens.
So it's like now it matters. Now we have to do, because remember, those were scenes that happened before, and they don't fucking matter now.
And Shin tries talk no jutsu, and it doesn't work, and he winds up getting in a fight with these. All of these are grown ass men, by the way, that have guns, and Shin has a knife.
Well, also, Shin has a knife, and he's been wounded twice, and he's almost died twice, and he just recovered from 2 near-death experiences. And he still somehow wins! Because those near-death experiences, Angels, those happened scenes ago, and that's no longer reality. Those don't fucking exist anymore, alright?
Look. Anyway.
That's this movie, is every new scene, the previous scenes don't exist anymore.
They get to, apparently, a big pit in the ground, which is where all the dead people are. The spirits of them, or whatever.
The pit is where the gate to life and death is.
Which the whole town of Argartha was originally supposed to be that, but you know.
But
so
yeah. Well, Angel,
like,
that's because that was scenes ago, and those scenes don't exist anymore.
Look, I get it.
Just remember that. Just anytime something new comes up that doesn't make any fucking sense with how they based, all other reality before that, it's because reality doesn't exist before this scene.
You're right.
So they're gonna climb down the mountain, the teacher and the girl, and then fucking Asuna just like. I don't know.
She can't do it. To be fair, I would not free climb down that.
But she. I have a story about climbing, boys. I'm gonna.
This is what I mean. She's now too afraid to climb down there, despite the fact that she was perfectly fine with jumping into the abyss before, and perfectly fine trying to escape the monsters, and perfectly
mountains hit different.
Jumping into rapids to save the kid, because those scenes happened already, and they don't fucking exist anymore.
Anyway.
Mountains hurt, guys. They hit back really hard.
So Asuna has a new personality now, because all other scenes don't exist anymore.
Yeah, look. So now she's terrified, and so he trades her gun for her his gun for her clavis, and he leaves her there.
Now, okay.
No,
I was gonna say, and now remember, she has been informed that these creatures travel through shadows. She knows this. She also knows that they are hunting her. She knows this, but remember, those were previous scenes, so they don't fucking exist now. So when the sun starts going down, and the monsters come out, she's surprised.
Well, I mean, I think she's more surprised at how long she sat there pouting, than so than surprised about the monsters, personally.
No, because she looks down and sees the monsters, and she's like, "They're attacking me! I have to get to the water!" And I'm like.
No, she had the gun.
She gets it. Yeah, she has the gun. Well, that's because she's in the water running away from them, and then the water goes away.
For no reason.
Because the water was there in the last scene, okay? And that scene doesn't exist anymore, so the water is no longer there. And that's just the logic this movie follows. Alright? The water's gone now because the last scene doesn't exist anymore. Which, I mean, also the fucking doctor dude falls and like a rock is like jabbed like this deep into his leg, and he just like pulls it out. And did you notice this? He pulls it out. It's on his right leg. Yeah? Yes. His right leg. So he
that was in there. That was
but
deep.
then he wraps his leg, and in the immediate next scene, he no longer has a wrap on either of his legs.
I did not notice that.
Because
the fact that he should have been bleeding profusely from that being impaled so deeply into his shin, it should have broke bone.
Because, as I told you, that happened in the last scene. That scene doesn't exist anymore. So he's fine, okay? And because he has no troubles climbing down the mountain more, and he has no troubles walking, despite the fucking rock that was this far into his leg.
Yeah, look, mind you that there was also water at the bottom of this, and they could have literally just jumped and been fine. You find that.
Which, at the bottom, he finds a bunch of corpses of Quetzalcoatlus. This is important. He finds the corpses of the Quetzalcoatlus because this is the Quetzalcoatlus graveyard, where they go to die.
Graveyard, but much weirder.
So now remember, the Quetzalcoatlus, they have physical bodies, and they die. Those are just, you gotta remember these things, because...
I thought it doesn't matter in the next scene.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. You have to remember these things because it's gonna fucking not matter in one scene.
Anyway,
she's being choked out by the
villagers and gets banished.
Yeah,
because he betrayed his country.
She's being choked out by the demon things, and so she takes the gun that she has, and she fires into the ground.
Can I talk about the eldritch horror that became?
Oh yeah. The goopy mouth that formed and then became terrifying.
Goop. The Ghibli goop. It was not Ghibli, but it's just a Ghibli goop.
God damn, this movie wanted to be a Ghibli film. I fucking wanted it. Except that it had the problem of Ghibli films are like consistent with their plot and their story. That's the issue.
But look, if they did less busyness and just tried to tell a basic thing, they would have done a lot better. But anyway,
if they just told a story.
So she's fighting the thing. She tries to shoot him, and then you hear the gun go off. Shin hears the gun go off, and she winds up just unloading the entire clip into the ground.
Because while the previous scene she was aiming at it, that scene no longer fucking exists.
Oh, she also asked herself why she came to Argartha, and finally accepts she came to Argartha because she was feeling lonely.
No, that was later. Before that, she has like a... She admits it after that, when he saves her, and they're just like, they're sitting on the hill, and like, she starts crying because fucking Shun died, and I'm like, why are you crying? You don't even know him! Like, and then Shin starts crying, and I'm like, you have a reason to cry. You continue bitching. I'm gonna let my dog in, because that's what that terrible sound is. Yeah, Shin cries because, his brother died. So he has a reason to cry. Where she's crying because that dude she just met died. And like...
Anxiety dog, be chill.
So...
Sorry.
Anyways, so then, because that scene doesn't exist anymore, remember, that's how it works. No. They decide to go down the thing to go to help the teacher out. And I thought you were afraid, but no, that was previous scenes. Those don't fucking exist. And then the ancient creature, the ancient Quetzalcoatlus shows up, and she fucking understands it. Somehow. It's never explained. She just understands it.
So then she understands it, and they also see the god Ark going into the hole. Yeah. And then she's like, it can take us down there because that's where we need to go, and it eats them.
But because she's not afraid to go down there anymore for reasons, and then it eats them, and then it just fucking belly flops.
The thing that she was afraid of was climbing down the cliff. I would also be afraid to climb down that cliff.
So instead you're just like, yeah, let's get eaten and just fucking free fall? This can't possibly go... Yeah, it's worse, but remember, the previous scenes don't fucking exist anymore. That world is dead. We're in a new world now.
Anyway, it sings. It sings the song of its life, and then it eats itself.
Which she heard before. It was Shin's song. Or Shun's song, which I guess they sang the same song. I don't know. He falls and he hits a waterfall and then fucking disappears. Because, remember, The previous,
bodies, yeah.
the previous scenes don't exist anymore, where they have like physical bodies and this is a graveyard. No, he falls into the water and just fucking magics away. He's just gone now. He's just gone now.
Now, mind you, oh, by the way, that I finally looked at my notes, and I remember at the top before they parted ways, the dude's like, one of us has to make it back alive. Okay, bear with me on this. It's a little controversial here. Ready? If he's intending to go down to see his wife to die, there was a lot easier way to get down to be with her in the afterlife.
Look.
Just saying.
Because
I'm not advocating that, but I'm just like.
Because remember, the previous scenes don't exist. There's easier ways, but that's because all of his previous character motivation's gone, alright? It's dead. This is a new scene. This means the world reset.
At some point they ate potatoes. I saw that in my notes. But at some point they ate potatoes, guys.
Yeah, and he was like, those might be poisonous. And she literally says, it's fine. I'll wash the poison out with water. That's not how poison works. But then they eat the potatoes because the previous scenes don't exist.
Especially with potatoes, because potatoes just go green when they're bad.
No, they were already sprouting too.
Oh.
It doesn't matter because the previous scenes don't exist, and now the potatoes don't look anything like they did.
And they're fine.
They look fucking nothing like
so
it.
Now they're at the bottom of the cliff, and they find the gate, and they go in it, and the
which
teacher.
Is just,
by the way, the teacher.
Which is a Gantz black orb. The gate is a Gantz black orb because.
Now, mind you, we also saw before this, the teacher was down here, and the god boat came down, and the boat turned into this eldritch being with eyes everywhere, and
it's just
stared at him.
And I guess that's God. Like.
Wait, isn't God a boat? Oh wait, it is the boat. Oh wait.
Look, Chase, the previous scenes don't exist anymore.
Yeah, I forgot, man. I forgot the rules. I forgot the rules, man.
You know what? I enjoyed this movie much more before I heard DC rant about it. I'm gotta say, I'm looking at the rating I left here on the page, and it's not gonna be this rating by the time we get to the end here.
The boat that carries God and holds all life is no longer that. Now it is God.
In one of the scenes, you can look at it, and it looks like a city's on it. A whole lot of cities on there. And you're like, all right, so that's like the heaven. Right?
But no.
This is like the what's the in between? The whatever I can't think of the purgatory, and that's like the hell. Got it.
But that was a previous
scene. It don't matter anymore. Yeah, previous
so
scene.
It doesn't fucking exist now.
So the God speaks to him. What is your wish? Why? Hold on. Why is that? Because if they don't want it to happen, they don't want him to go down there. Don't want him to get his wish. Why would the God be like, oh, you made it. Here's a candy and whatever you want for your wish.
So, remember, this is supposed to be the gate between life and death, where you go see your dead love.
Why the fuck he handing out wishes?
Yeah, no, because the previous scenes don't exist anymore. Now it's where you go to meet God, and God grants you a wish.
Why does God just grant you a wish? Oh dear.
And the worst part is that for some fucking reason, despite the fact that this being is God, it can't bring a soul back unless it has a physical body to put it into. Now, also remember that because that was a previous scene that doesn't fucking exist anymore, it takes Asuna's physical body, puts the soul in that, and she gets covered in water.
Mind you, that Asuna had no choice in this because apparently this God does not do the whole free will thing. Because the teacher's just like, yeah, use her body. You shouldn't have come. I'm sorry. He's crying.
No,
yeah, like fuck that kid. Fuck that kid in particular. I want my wife back.
No, what's worse is that in the sub, he's like, you want to sacrifice? And then Asuna shows up and he's like, Asuna, you shouldn't be here. And then it just fucking chooses her. The God just says like, oh, that's my sacrifice now. Cause remember, again, the previous scenes don't fucking exist anymore. So now the teacher's cool with it.
So she gets possessed.
while he wasn't cool with it in the previous scene, he's now cool with it because the previous scenes don't exist. And so
He gets possessed, but it's not good enough.
no,
For whatever reason.
because the previous scenes don't exist anymore, it's no longer good enough, so he takes the teacher's eye, which, for some fucking reason, no, it's not enough to have the body of this girl, I also need your fucking eye, for some reason.
This is the Full Metal Alchemist, ladies and gentlemen.
Like, it's just, why his eye? It doesn't make any
He
sense
collects
at
them.
all.
He likes them.
And also, he's the only one that gets a wish. The other two don't get a fucking wish
Yeah,
because the
fuck those
previous
guys,
scenes,
too.
don't exist.
Fuck both of those children in particular.
And then, like, fucking for some reason,
Eventually, they do this whole thing where he's trying to talk to his wife, and as soon as
Yeah.
fighting back, and Shin destroys her clavet because
Yeah.
that undoes the.
well, as soon as not even fighting back, she's just fucking sitting in a room with Shun and the cat.
Oh, that's right. She died
Because-
for
yeah,
a few minutes. Not her
because-
father.
No, not her dad, because the previous scenes don't exist. She doesn't have a fucking dad anymore. Right? The dad's
You know,
gone.
my biological father that died when I was too young, that maybe I could have a meeting with him, and no, I want to meet that one boy that was kind of sexy, and I saw him for all of 5 minutes, and my cat.
Because he kissed her on the forehead.
Is that all you gotta do to seduce a girl is kiss her on the forehead? I'm not sure how this
You
works.
would know. You would know more than I would. All
You
right.
kiss me on the forehead when I barely know you, you're gonna get punched, dude. Do not touch my forehead.
That's super fucking. Look, it doesn't matter anymore because she gets like the fucking wife goes away. Asuna comes back, and then the teacher's just like cool with it now because again the previous scene doesn't fucking exist. So now he's just cool with it, and they leave, and like the fucking Shin is like, oh, he's no longer gonna be accepted
I
in.
told you to.
I'm sorry, there seems to be some kind of, like, emergencies outside my house.
Yeah.
I'll go back.
I was gonna say Shin's no longer accepted by Argartha or the top side, but like when the movie ends, she goes back into the top side, but the teacher stays behind because reasons. And Shin,
No reason. Mind you, Shin is an outcast now. He has been told
Yeah.
he's not gonna perform in any village in the whole
Yeah.
country.
but since the previous scenes don't exist anymore, they're just gonna walk off
By
together.
the way, he's completely at peace now because his wife told him to find happiness without her.
Yeah, even though she said that before, but that's again the previous scenes didn't exist, so he couldn't. Yeah, that's the law of the universe. is that-
Yeah, don't forget he was also devastated, and he's like, Shin, kill me, and Shin's like, nah.
Yeah, he's like, kill me,
Even though
so I can be
Shin
with my wife.
should
He's
have,
like,
he had every right to.
yeah. And then,
And-
like,
She,
mean-
Asuna got her body back, but he didn't get his eye back. Because fuck that eye.
no, because the previous scenes don't exist, he doesn't get, and then, like, God doesn't give a fuck about them and leaves. Because he's like, he doesn't follow the rules anymore because the previous scenes don't exist, so he doesn't no longer has to give them wishes. That's how it works. It's just fucking, now I don't have to because the previous scenes don't exist, this is a new universe. So,
Yeah,
she
and the film
goes-
ends with an older Asuna looking out her window
Well,
at the cliffside where she had met
let's-
Shun and Shin. She says her goodbyes to her mother, and she hurries to her graduation ceremony.
yeah, which again, fucking, I guess God, fucking, again, archangels, they don't exist
Angels?
anymore. Archangels don't exist anymore. They don't. I guess I'm trying to fucking like not
Summarize this
crack.
shit.
I'm trying to not crack when saying the archangels don't exist anymore, so there's no
Mind you-
threat to her anymore.
Mind you,
Even though,
Somehow made it all the way to that water where she blacked out. She figured out how to get out of that by herself.
and then she
has
got
so
out.
much for taking care of herself throughout this entire movie.
Yeah,
And then
no,
she went through that entire cave system, past the rotting, I assume the rotting corpse of the monster thing.
Which past the possible camp of archangel people that are out
Which
there
would
waiting.
logically be researching this area still because they found the monster here and the dude went in there.
Past the fucking sealed cave entrance that was sealed with a boulder that required the fucking stone to move. But again, because the previous scenes don't exist anymore, that's
It's
all
fine.
gone. And her mom, who wasn't concerned that her daughter vanished for days. Which we didn't even talk about the fact that they said her mom is like constantly gone and busy with her nursing job. That requires she wear a pantsuit, which I've never fucking seen. What? Also,
maybe she's like a manager or something.
yeah, so she figured out that the true thing was that she was just lonely, but she never fucking like learned that, well, I've had people that were with me all along. No, she didn't fucking learn shit because the previous scene doesn't exist anymore. This is fucking done. Those are gone. That's the movie. It's just fucking nothing matters. Nothing has any reason or purpose or consistency. It's shit that just keeps happening. Just stuff happens and she has no agency in it.
Yeah, you're right. And then the ending feels very lackluster as well. So.
Because it resolves nothing. There's so many things.
No reason for the teacher or Shin. See, my idea was like, oh, the teacher and Shin are gonna come back topside with her because he's exiled from his world, and then the teacher can find meaning, maybe in him. Maybe he can like Shin can live with him, and they can find meaning together. And no.
Because that, or you would think that he goes back and like he meets her mom, and like then she lost a husband, he lost a wife, and maybe they have a kid. No, because fucking the previous scenes don't exist. None of that happened, and we skip over everything and just go to she's graduating. Who knows from where? Is it high school? Is it middle school? Who the fuck knows? She's just graduating now. Get over it. Because they don't go to high school till they're like 15, so that's just a 4-year skip.
I just looked on Google to see, because it said that there was a couple low reviews for this. It was 4.7, and then I filter by stars, and there is nothing but 5-star ratings available for the review for this.
I just looked at the same thing.
My favorite.
I just looked at that too. It's so weird.
Look, no, it makes no sense.
It really doesn't.
It makes no fucking sense. I don't know why this film.
People think this is a Ghibli movie. That's why. I'm reading this one review. It's great, just like all the other Ghibli movies. Look, it looks like a Ghibli movie. It sounds like a Ghibli movie. It's not a Ghibli movie.
It don't move like one.
Of IMDb, 68 Rotten Tomatoes, which is a bit more realistic, and 7.6 out of 10 for my anime list.
What is this is my favorite one. Imagine someone looking at Studio Ghibli in hope of creating something similar, but end up completely missing the point and delivering a train wreck of a movie.
Yes.
This is how I would describe
Yes.
Voices.
It's true.
Overall rating 2.
Nice.
Okay, look. How many scenes that don't matter out of 10 are we gonna give this?
Fucking. Look.
I'm looking on Rotten Tomatoes now.
This was the winner of the Platinum Grand Prize during the 2012 Future Film Festival held in Italy.
There's one critic that reviewed this movie, and it got 2 out of 5. Was that the one you were looking at?
Luke Halliday from Capsule Computers gave this film a perfect score, heralding the film as Shinkai's finest. Children Who Chase Lost Voices, it is an astonishing film that truly feels like the culmination of Shinkai's career up to this point. It is his most ambitious work to date, and quite simply his crowning achievement in the art form. He continued to highlight the film's significance to anime as an art form. This is perhaps the most important anime film of the new millennium, because it marks an important changing of tides. It's filmed like Children Who Chase Lost Voices that remind us of how magical anime can truly be. That is a thing that people said about this movie. This is fucking 2. I'm sorry. Fuck this movie. 2. It's a 2. It's a 2 because nothing fucking matters.
Is that what you're rating it a 2?
It's a 2. I agree with the 2 guy. Because just fucking nothing matters.
So are you rating this a... I think you gave Lou Over the Wall a 4.
No, he gave it a 3.
Oh, you're giving this less than Lou Over the Wall. Have we found one?
It had nice artwork and it had okay music, and that's it. That's what it had going for it.
This was better than Lou Over Wall by a long shot. I would watch this movie again. I don't think you could pay me to watch Lou Over Wall again.
Fucking wouldn't watch either movie again. They're both crap. This movie is it's a movie because it has a plot. The problem is that it liked plots so much it did all of them.
It did every plot.
It just threw.
Do you like plots, everybody? Do you like lots of plots? Do you like excess plot? Do you like so much plot you need some plot for your plot? Watch this movie.
There's only one character with a motivation. And that's the teacher. He's the only one with a motivation. Or a backstory.
Well, Shin was told, hey, you're a piece of shit. Go clean up your brother's mess.
Yeah, but then he...
As I said, I dithered while watching this movie whether to give it a 7 or an 8, seriously, but now that I think about it, now that we sit here and talk about it, I still enjoyed it because the animation was good, the dub was decent, except there was one point where the teacher said something, he went like this. And there was no dub at all, no voice, and I'm like, oh.
The first monster sounded like I thought the audio went bad. Because it sounded super fucking muffled and
Did you watch
weird.
the dub or the sub?
Sub.
Okay, see, I watched the dub and it sounded alright.
The monster sounded so fucking odd, and I was like, did the audio go bad? And then they talked, and it was normal. It was just the monster. It sounded fucking odd. So, like... let's look at this.
I'm gonna give it right in the middle of 5. I like the movie. If it had, you're right. If it had just a couple tweaks, it could really be a good movie.
It could have been fucking great. Like it could have been an amazing film about a girl wanting to have one last connection with her father and finding out about her true heritage and like coming to like a realization
for her to realize she could have went to go see her father, not her love interest, not her
who fucking she didn't know anything about because she never asked him.
And why did he have to die? Why did Shin have to replace Shun? They could have been the same character this entire time.
Because they looked exactly the same.
But they went with that plot point, that the fact that he came up here, maybe he just wanted to check out the world above, and I could dig that. He came up there, he checked out the world above, he sensed her closet, they had a conversation, he went back home.
Or like he comes up there and that like is why he starts deteriorating because he needs the magic water, and so she goes to Argartha to fucking like save him. Yeah.
Meet up with the teacher, she's like, hey, while I'm there I could see my dad and we can get this dude home, and the teacher's just like, well, fuck you guys, I'm in it for myself, but I'm gonna play along for now. And that could have been a thing. And then that would have been... They tried to go with that teacher at the end, and then all of a sudden he was all forgiven.
Because he wasn't a bad guy throughout the entire film. He was a great guy throughout the entire film.
It doesn't matter.
No, because that was previous scenes. They don't exist anymore. Fucking... God, no, fine. You know what? All of the negatives comes to a 3. Because I've got like 7 negatives, so it's a 3. Congrats, film.
I give it a 5, but as I said, it's still a decent movie. But once we start actually discussing it, that lowered the score significantly.
It's sad, isn't it? Like once you start thinking about the movie, and you're like, wait, no, this movie kind of sucked.
Look, I was just like, yeah, I'm here for a good time. Let's watch the movie. I'm like, all right, that was showy and flashy and didn't make a whole lot of sense. Let me just blame that on the dub, and I'll give it a higher score. No.
The pictures were nice.
This is the equivalent of the Transformers movies that everyone loves, despite the fact that they're shit and the only thing they have is good
nice
visuals
cars.
and explosions. Yeah, that's all they have is good visuals and explosions, and people are just like, this is so good.
In my notes, Shin also gave her a tiny fragment of the jewel, which was not mentioned anywhere in there, and it was not just like, she didn't make a necklace out of it. She didn't.
Because it was gone.
It was in a previous scene. It doesn't exist.
Yeah, exactly. It just stopped existing.
But you know what should stop existing is this. At this point, we've shit on this movie enough, and
for an hour, because it doesn't make any sense. I'm
no, for yourself. If you guys love this movie, and once again you disagree with us, and that's fine.
Please explain. Please explain to us.
Chris, explain. Like Chase hasn't even seen this movie. Did you see it?
No, I was doing managery things.
Look, just if you're gonna watch this movie, I highly recommend being in an altered state of mind. And
Okay.
maybe it'll make sense.
All right, no problem.
Maybe it'll make sense.
I can get that sorted.
It didn't. I was watching it and I was just like so confused because they're like, the nonchalantness of that's a 50-million-year-old whale. Kill it. Like what? Fucking what?
Japan.
I found a half-star review. One of the most anticlimactic anime films I have ever laid eyes on. The whole movie was building up to what felt like a big turning point, suddenly stopped and did not reclaim its original sense of history and what it first brought to the table. I have never been this saddened to watch an anime film.
Wow.
That's so true.
It
built
is,
up
though.
To nothing. It built up to fucking nothing. Like it's just fucking stopped.
Writing an accurate, this is a 2-star. Writing an accurate, detailed view of my actual feelings toward the film and the first impression is always the hardest thing to do. And this is the hardest film to rate and review. I've already watched this film twice within a week after I got the DVD. And both my heart and my mind are equally fuzzy as how it is confused. But it actually makes things easier to review this time, this particular film, because it helped me reassure my feelings, which I had towards the film. I neither dislike or like the film. The essence of Miyazaki was undeniable, but there's so many elements were all wrong, and yeah. Even the tiniest details were seemingly uncanny. I guess.
Nothing mattered. Fucking nothing mattered.
It was pretty, guys. It was plot holes. A few plot holes, and a lot of stuff.
Well, like
Storyline is all over the place.
Especially, yeah, because it's all the stories. Especially when he's like,
the story loses momentum so frequently. Yeah. Okay, but you know what? If you guys have seen this, do you have any final thoughts, or are we just done now?
fuck this movie. It's just, this movie's an insult to plot. That's what it is. It's an insult to Ghibli. This is a fucking insult to Ghibli films.
Too many references to Ghibli works. That was its review. Cliche.
I mean, it was literally just every Ghibli film ever put into a movie. How much Ghibli can we throw into one film that's not a Ghibli film?
Yes.
I mean, they tried.
How much Ghibli can you fit? The barber said yes.
The storytelling is ham-fisted, schlocky, slappy, awful.
Oh my god.
It's the car salesman. He's just slapping the DVD. And he's like, you can fit so much Ghibli into this. So
Anyway.
much.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for being patrons. Just remember, you're canonically attractive. It's because you're patrons, and you're amazing. And
We broke DC.
Yeah, DC's broken.
This movie broke. Like I messaged one of my friends after watching this, and I was just like, I think this movie broke me. This is the film that broke me.
We need a cigarette and a fucking pipe for that dude. Like,
dude, I don't even smoke, and yeah, I need a fucking pipe and a stiff drink.
yes.
Anyway, I need some stiff something. But I'm gonna talk to you all later. Goodbye.
Bye.